I thought about it. Oh, you didn't know what I was talking about, did you? He was asking me, do you want to go live early? And you heard my answer. I was thinking about it. I was wondering. And then it turned 10 o'clock. So I pushed the button and we go live. All right, let's get comfortable. It's Friday night. Golly gee whiz. Next Wednesday is the beginning of April. It'll be April Fool's Day, which is a bunch of silliness as far as I'm concerned. But if people have a good time with it, then who am I to say anything? But there's always a reason to celebrate something, which is what the American way is all about. We celebrate one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and I could go on and on and on. And we just don't stop celebrating. So I'm waiting to go to, well, where would you like to go if you had to go somewhere? I probably would go to the mountains or see family. I think that would be one of the better trips. Speaking about going, we have travelers. We've got I don't even know. I haven't talked to Jim Monday. I have no idea where he is. Where are you, Jim? Are you in your part of the town? Because that man travels. That man travels. Here we are. This is the topic of our show. I was waiting for you to show up. The Olympus was sitting in the wings, and we were broadcasting with the Olympus, and then all of a sudden, I said, well, I wanted to talk about the Nikon ZR tonight, and tell one of its weak points, because I've been hearing from a couple of people that, hey, it's no problem whatsoever, and others saying, how can you possibly put out your hottest camera ever? Stop playing with the rubber bands, Peter. How can you put out your hottest camera ever, and the basic thing that most people will use, which is H.264, those of us that have H.264 ourselves out, H.264'd ourselves out, we now use H.265. And the camera has such high-end stuff that it's just astounding that we are, that we are actually using a camera that doesn't have H.265 10-bit. It doesn't have H.264 10-bit. Doesn't have the same thing in 422, or you're delegated to 420. That is kind of what the average, as Simon's channel would be, the ordinary filmmaker. That's the kind of setting that you would use. When I go out and about, I grab the Leica. I love this Leica. I'd never thought I would, honestly, because it's limited. But so is the whatchamacallit, the Nikon ZR. Okay. Did I ever tell you that the lens cap on this camera just slides right off and slides right on? There's no screws, and it's just right where it actually just stays put. I don't know what kind of a coating is on there, but I've had this now for maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And the lens cap has never fallen off. It is deeper than a normal lens cap. When I want to take pictures, I just grab this camera. I put it A mode for automatic on the f-stops. I put it in A mode for the shutter. I put it in A mode for the ISO. And I just hit the ground running, okay? And it takes pictures in 60 megapixels. And of course, all this doesn't come with it. Randy put that on. Randy, I don't know if he's coming in tonight. Let me take a quick glance. Where's my mouse? He's at a funeral tonight of his uncle. Uncle Joe is what we call him. I've never met him. I don't know anything about the man. Well, I do know a little bit. Okay. Guy is a Christian man. It's the first thing I ask. If somebody passes away, did you know if they're a Christian or not? Because that is pretty much a big key as to your future travels. Remember, I started by saying, where would you like to travel if you travel? So when a person passes away, and if they're not a Christian, their travels could be different, especially if you're a Bible person. It kind of talks to you about your traveling. Every time I have this mix, the Randall Roy Christmas Room Emporium coffee, I'll get a good name for it eventually, but it's a mixture, and it's brought to my mind, or based on the coffee habits of Randy, who's, like I said, he's traveling right now, and Roy. Roy's always traveling. I mean, even when he's not traveling, Roy is traveling. There's just no way to stop it. So if you take your Nikon ZR with you, you won't have 422 if you're going to take any videos. You won't have 10-bit. Does that seem like an oversight, or do you think that they really don't care? I don't know if they don't care or what the point is. So let's not get too far behind in the saying of hellos, because today we will have a 1-hour show. I feel exhausted. Hi, Gregory. And Greg is saying, hi, Peter. I hope you are doing well. I'm doing well. I started with a cold. No, I shouldn't say that. Okay, let's be accurate. I started what sounded like or felt like a cold. The reason I did that is I had to blow my nose for like 2 hours. It was a runny nose. I associate that with a cold. So blowing my nose, and that is indicative of a cold. So I got up early, went to the potty like everybody else does when you wake up, and I had to blow my nose a couple of times while I was in there, using up all my toilet paper just to blow my nose. And then after that, I was walking out of the bathroom, and I said, you know, what's that advertisement? They say at the first hint of a cold, so that was a hint. Where am I? Over there. Hi, Sony A7C Mark II. Boy, you do a real good job. I just got to hand it to you. You do a really, really good job. So if I've never said thank you for doing such a good job, A7C is a very underrated camera. But all the cameras that I've gotten here, I'm actually very happy with them. The ZR is one of them. I do feel disappointing. It was much better when I didn't know. Shooting videos, having a good time, and I had no clue that we are shooting 4.2. I was shooting, when I was doing video clips, I'm shooting 420 8-bit. How many years back does that take you? And that's not the only one that Nikon did that with. From what I understand, Randy said that the Z6 Mark III that I had in here, okay, which, wow, what a wonderful camera. Same thing. So, I was saying, where am I supposed to look? I'm supposed to look over here. This chair needs to turn. There we go. Now I can sit back, relax, and look directly at the A7C Mark II. And then I can turn my head all the way over here. And who do we have over here? A 10-year-old camera. Randy substantiated that on the last show. Okay, we have the Olympus is a 10-year-old camera. And look at the picture. It just keeps up with everything. Isn't that a little bit amazing? I think so. And I'm using a 1.2 lens on there. And I would say the background is as blurry here as it is across the board. Okay, so I have a 50 millimeter, which will be up next, I think. Yeah, 50 millimeter 1.4, and then maybe an 85 millimeter 1.8 is on the A7C Mark II. So I was saying hi to Gregory. I hope you're doing well. Oh, I was telling the story. I was heading out of the bathroom, and I remembered the advertisement for that. Whatchamacallit, Ecamm. Take this. So I took it, and it's a suckable. You don't chew it, you don't swallow it with the water. So I took one of those in the morning, and I went back to bed, and my nose was irritating me in the sense that I had to sit up or get to the point, roll over where I could blow my nose, because I wasn't going to blow it laying straight down, face up. Just think of the logistics of it. And then I woke up a little later, like 1:30, 2 o'clock, and after that, I got up again. I took another Ecamm, and my nose was still running. So for that day, which was 2 days ago, and then the next day, which was yesterday, I woke up, not even a hint. So you think it was allergies? I don't know. I'd have to ask Roy. Roy is very good with allergies. He knocks them out every chance he gets. So I was saying hi to Gregory. Love you, Gregory. Thank you for coming in. Here's King James. You didn't know he wrote the Bible? Oh, it wasn't him. I got you mixed up, King. Well, thanks for being here. You know I love you. And I appreciate you. It's gonna be a good stream. How did you know I was thinking, is this going to be a good stream? But it is. Sammy says hello to everybody up in the cold weather of Jersey. And Hal, all the way down into the Miami area, but not quite. I'm in the Miami area. So Hal is in the northern next county up. But when trying to get some of that coffee down, and the reason is it keeps me awake. So let's do a little jingle for Debbie. Debbie is Hal's wife, and I like to sing to her. How you doing, Debbie? I think you're doing swell. You're looking great. I hope you're having a good day and a good evening. And I'm surprised Hal is not out working tonight. So I like to sing to Debbie without reverb. So I didn't use this mic. Actually, I should. Let's try that, because turn it on. Good boy, Peter. Now I can sing to Debbie with the proper singing mic. The mic came from Hal, so thank you to Hal, and thank you to Debbie too. Boy, that was out of tune. Sorry, Debbie, it was out of tune. Let's see, do I have any sound in here? Yes, I do. I got, because of Hal again, I got a microphone and a speaker too. Okay, so I did get to sing with this to see. These things really eat up batteries. You got that same experience with it, Hal? They eat up batteries, and I need to either get a rechargeable, or we're gonna be pumping up some battery expenses here. I just went through the taxes and stuff, so it'll be interesting. $17,000 for batteries. I'm beginning to wonder if I need to, at the beginning of every show, just change the batteries. But I don't have that many AA's. I usually buy the Amazon Basics. I do have a couple of Enelope batteries. You guys know the Enelope or Antelope? Looks like antelope. It's a rechargeable battery. But sometimes they don't work in places, so I will have to try it in what I'm talking on now. Good stuff. Thank you, Randy and Roy. Okay, let's pull back a little bit on that and pull up a little on this. The singing mic seems to have been a little on the low side, so there we go. So hi Hal, glad to see you dropped in. I guess my question is, are you working tomorrow? But you said Saturdays? You're not working all that much. There we go. And Roy goes, I wish Leica made DSLRs again. Well, I think they stopped, right? The SL was discontinued. And most Christians I know aren't very Christian. Boy, they're the first ones to attack. Because I'll say, oh, I'm a pre-trib guy. You know what that means? A lot of you guys that watch that are not Christians, it's like, there's like a lingo in the church. You're a pre-trib or you're a post-trib. You're once saved, always saved, or you could lose your salvation and go to hell. You could be left behind if the rapture happens, if you're not all clean. So all that, those are arguing points. You just bring it on, brother. We bring it on. I'll slug it out with you. And then if you don't agree, I was told, I would say on the last good size argument that I sound just like a Mormon or a Jehovah's Witness, and that I would probably be going to hell. And this is within family. Not even strangers. Okay, because I had a difference of opinion on something. And it was on the, no, let's not start that. Because I'm sure you guys would get into it, slamming me down. So, thanks, Roy, for bringing that nice thought up. Oh, Randy is here. Hi, Randy. I haven't called you on purpose. You said you'd be flying around in your company jet. So, Randy says, hello, everybody. Uncle Joe had a wonderful Christian send-off. Did you get to play the video that you made? Randy made a special video just for Uncle Joe. People tried to cooperate, let's put it that way, because getting family to cooperate sometimes isn't the easiest thing in the world. But Randy is so laid back and so mild and kind that I was more worried about him getting abused in some people are so picky, like, oh, I don't like that picture that you put in the slideshow. Make it over. I told Randy to learn these two words. Hell no. Oh, I have family like that too. You know, if you're setting, can you move that over 2 inches? No, move it back 1 inch. The 2 inches was just too much. And it's like, what? What are you talking about? Move it over 2 inches and then move it back 1 inch? You know how big an inch is? But that's what family does. Welcome. Welcome to the family. Amazing. So apparently, Randy is someplace where he could be watching and he could also be, sending a text message. So that will be cool. Alrighty, so, oh, we have another travel and Sly. I heard you were traveling. I slept And I woke up, I said, oh, I missed her show. I missed Sly's show. I slept right through it. And Sly said, hey, Peter, Haas and I are watching. Oh, Haas, he would like a song if you have time. Ah, for Haas? What? You got to be kidding. You got to be kidding me. I wish I remembered the one that he liked. Oh, God. I know the old words from the 70s. It's this old man, okay? But they have new words to it now. And I don't know the new words to this old man. So we'll just do an impromptu. We will start over. I forgot to turn my microphone on, my microphone on, my microphone on. I didn't see my green bar because I play video too. So what I was saying, Hoss, first I love you. I think you're awesome. And I give you a high five, high five, high five. But if you're playing with the videos, you gotta go faster. You gotta fly higher. You gotta shoot them down, bang them up, drive around. Oh, wait, you're gonna hit something. Don't go so fast. You're scaring me, Hoss. Hoss drives so fast. Hoss drives so fast. Hoss drives so fast. Ah, he scares me a lot. But I'm proud of you. You play the games real good out there, Hoss. I'm proud of you. You play the video game so good. I think you're a lot better than me. And how about Granny? Does Granny know how to play, Hoss? Are you teaching her how to play, Hoss? I think you probably have to teach her. I think you do. So Hoss is such a good boy. Hoss is Sly's grandson. And she is so proud of him. I could tell you that right now. As a matter of fact, I was just telling a story. If I switch over to the correct mic here. I was just telling a story about Hoss looking at pictures on the wall of his house. Let's turn this off because the batteries die very quickly. Okay, so I was just telling a story to somebody how Hoss was looking at pictures on the wall in the house, probably the old house. So let me ask you a question, Hoss. Do you remember the old house? Okay. So I don't even know if it was in that house, but you were looking at some pictures on the wall and you really surprised Granny because you knew who was in the pictures. And it was like, how did you know? Who told you who was in those pictures? And then later, when Granny asked you about who's that picture, you didn't remember. So I bet you didn't have breakfast that day and you couldn't remember who was in the picture. Am I right? Did you not have breakfast? Because when I don't have breakfast, this is a smoothie, and I have one of these for breakfast, okay? And I have one of them for a snack. then I don't remember so good. But I do my exercises, and I eat my breakfast, and I take my naps, and everything works out better. So I'm pretty sure you're playing tonight on the video games. And if you're not, golly gee whiz, Batman, what are you doing? So I thought that Granny was traveling, because that's what Randy told me. Granny's traveling. That's why there were no show this week. The one that I slept through, and then I felt bad because I slept through it. Well, she was traveling. Maybe she was just going to pick up Hoss. So here we are. We are back at the ranch, and I'm so excited that Hoss is watching me. So do you remember the song, Hoss? Because I don't remember it. I remember singing it to you. It goes like this. Da 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 bum 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 ba da ba da bum ba da ba bum 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 ba dum bum ba da bum 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 ba da bum 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 ba da ba da bum 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 bum. I don't remember the words. I'm so sorry about that. But I do remember you used to like that song. Do you like it anymore, or you don't like it anymore? Alrighty, so I'm going to talk to the adults now, okay, Hoss? We're going to go back, because some of the people in here like cameras a lot. So do you know anybody that likes cameras a lot, Hoss? You do? Who do you know that likes cameras a lot? Granny? Granny likes cameras a lot? I didn't know that. I know she likes microphones. I think you have your own microphone, or did you lose it? All right, so I'm going to say bye-bye. Go back to your games, okay? And have a good time. And remember, don't drive so fast that it's going to scare me when you're on your games, on the video games. All right, buddy? Good night. I'm going to say good night to you. Bye-bye. I used to make videos for him and sing him birthday songs and stuff like that. But he did grow up, okay? So Randy says, next Baptist minister said that one lie in his professions, pastors say, is this sermon will not take long. Okay, so I think I'm kind of like those ministers, because I will say this show will only be 1 hour, okay? And therefore, it's going to be a normal show. And then 2.5 hours later, I'm still yapping away, okay? This show is only going to be 1 hour. What time is it now? Oh, I'm not doing so bad. Look at that. We're almost at the halfway mark. So the show technically goes from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And on Wednesday, when I do the Wednesday show, it goes from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Okay? Let's see what happens. Let's see if I'm an ex-Baptist minister. Roy is in the house. Did I say hello to you, Roy? I did. Are you flying around on your little wheelie thing? You are. Nikon ZR supports 10-bit 422 H.265 HEVC internal recording. I don't agree with you. You cannot get 265 in 10-bit 422. You can only get 420. Okay. How can I prove that? I think, well, I have the camera, but I'm not taking it down. So when you're in H.265, you can only go to 10-bit. I'm sorry, 8-bit and 420. So we'll have to find out the truth, because that would be freaking amazing if you could actually do that. Okay? Because not only that one, the ZR won't do it. You know what else won't do it? The Z6 Mark III. So maybe they can't make the cameras do something in Australia that they don't do here in the US. That would be funny, wouldn't it? So Roy says, didn't Constantine minions write the Bible? King Constantine of Rome? Well, I think King James was from Britain, not from Rome. So I'm not sure. And here is the Coffee Meister, which is Roy. Of course, he's the one that sparked me up to make the coffee this way, and Randy. All right, so let's see. Let's see how we do in this argument. Randy says the Nikon ZR and Z6 III have the same video settings. So far, winner, winner, chicken dinner, okay? Except that the latter camera does not have red. That's the Z6 Mark III. So the Z6 III, which is a camera I had in here, okay? It was here for quite a while. The Z6 III does not have red. Now, enter the Nikon ZR. That's what the R is for. Nikon bought red. You knew that, right? Nikon bought red? You never heard that story? Well, sit back. Let me tell you. Nikon was sitting there smoking a cigar. Where's my fake cigar? I'll use the battery. They were smoking a cigar, and they said, I think I'll buy the red camera company. That's what I'll do. Took another couple of puffs, put his cigar down, picked up his phone. Of course, he had a regular phone. He doesn't have the new cell phones like I have. Okay? And he called and he says, I want to speak to the president of the red camera company. Can you get him to come to the phone? And they said, who is this? Is this one of those, calls where the, you got to put an extension on your car for its, guarantee and everything? No, get me the president of the red camera company. So the guy comes on the phone and goes, who is this? He said, this is Mr. Nikon. Mr. Nikon? Why are you calling me? I want to buy your company. You want to buy my company? The whole thing? I make cameras here. Well, I want to buy them. I want to buy the cameras. I want to buy the company. I want to buy the technology. I want to buy it all. I want to buy it all. I want to buy it all. All right, gonna cost you a pretty penny. I got a lot of cameras in my warehouse. I got a lot of cameras on my production line. So are you ready to pay? By golly, Mr. Red, I am ready to pay. I want you to name your price, and I'm going to buy your company. Well, as the story goes, he bought it. And Nikon owns the red camera company. Lock, stock, and barrel. The whole shebang. He owns it all. So Nikon eventually took the technology that makes the red camera a red camera, and after they signed the deal, they put the technology into their camera. So they took the Z6 Mark III, okay, and they chopped off the top, kind of like this Leica did. You see the hump? It's gone. It's like somebody took a knife and went psh, and cut it right off. But the knife was a little bit too sharp because it also cut out the 422 for what the average man, the ordinary filmmaker, took out. So Randy was starting to explain that before I went on a tangent here. Okay, so the Nikon ZR and Z6 III have the same video settings, except that the latter meaning the Z6 III does not have the red technology in it. That's why we have the Nikon ZR. It stands for red technology. Now, H.264 is 8-bit. H.265 is 10-bit, but only 420. ProRes HQ and up have all the good stuff, which would be 10-bit, 12-bit, 422. So that's what I was referring to, is the average man is going to shoot H.264 in 8-bit. That just isn't right. And if you move over to H.265, you get to use your 10-bit, but we drop off the majority of the color data. And that's the part I don't like. Now, this is the ZR. Does it look like it's handicapped? Because we're not recording, but I do have it set to H.265, okay? And you know, the picture is darn good. But it's just knowing that what needs to be there is not there sometimes will tick me off a little bit. Howl says, Debbie says hi, and she really enjoyed the song. I did really bad on it tonight. That's why I didn't open with a song. I'm not in a singing mood. You know, when you get your feelings hurt, you just don't want to sing, and I didn't do any singing. So Roy is talking to Randy. The ZR supports 10-bit 422 H.265 internal coffee. Internal coffee. I'm thinking of coffee when I talk about you, Roy. So it would be, it's not in the menu. Let's put it that way. I looked in the menu, and when I went to set the camera, even though it supports it, when you go to H.265, you drop 420 and go to 422. But I did not update the firmware. So we don't know. That's why I brought it to the table tonight. It might sound like why are you talking about that? Because there's a lot of mishmash, scrambled eggs, tossed salad and scrambled eggs, Fraser, okay. What was that? I thought it was a bug. So when I turn my camera on with the ZR and I put it to H.265, because I like H.265 a lot better than H.264, okay, it's basically one giant step forward in its ability to compress and at the same time do two things: you can compress stronger than H.265 and keep the file at a higher quality level. It doesn't clobber it. So when I grab a camera, I flip over to H.265 first thing, because it's going to give me a better quality image. Okay? That's what the Apple did. When you go to Apple and you record and you got pictures and your video, you record in HEIC, H-E-I-C or H-E-I-F. One is the container and one is the codec. Okay, and I forget which one is which. But the point is the H.265 and the HEIC from Apple basically use the same underlining pinnings that holds up the car, okay? And it is a better quality. Which is why Apple comes out with some very nice quality on your phone. Hi, Scotty. You usually aren't here. You're usually out there singing your heart out. Love you, buddy. So that's a very good question. What's the difference between pixelmator and photomator? Okay, so the difference between pixelmator and photomator, there's two ways to explain it. So let me just say the simple way, okay, which is the one that caused me to buy photomator. Photomator has that slide strip across the bottom. You can go from this picture to that one, 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 all the way across. And you can do it any number of ways, with your mouse, with the keyboard, left, right arrows on the keyboard. So it includes the film strip on the bottom. Okay? Pixelmator does not. You have to open a file, file, open, pick a picture. Ready to go to the next one? File, open, pick a picture. Next one, file, open, pick a picture. Okay? It's a 1x1. So it's the next way to explain it is Photomator, like the guy on the movie Cars, Mater, remember Mater? Is very much like Lightroom. And Pixelmator is very much like Photoshop. Now, I do know that Photoshop has a plugins where you can add things to Photoshop so that you can go through the pictures, which is missing in Photoshop also, okay? And that's the difference between the two. So you can do things in Pixelmator like you would use Photoshop, but it's a one-on-one, and I don't think it's developed enough yet where they have plugins where you can go through your pictures quicker, all right? So I'm usually not the kind of guy that picks out one picture, because there is the style that you go through your pictures, you went out, you did landscape shots, you did shots like Woody does, and you picture, and you get that one picture of the bird that is just perfect, okay? And so you take it into Photoshop and you start massaging it and making it just that wonderful wall piece that you want to make it. And you do that in Photoshop. Now, if you have Lightroom and you come home from a wedding, you're going to want to use Lightroom because you do want to use that slide strip that's at the bottom. You've got 1,000 pictures to cull through, meaning go through, pick out the good ones, toss out the bad ones. Okay. So the third piece of software that I like is called Neo. Affinity? No, that's the Affinity Designer. So I forgot who does Luminar. Luminar does Neo. And they had one right before Neo, and I forgot the name of it, but I might still have it here. Might not be on this computer. I'm looking. So there's a Pixelmator Pro. I have that. All right. Lightroom. I have that. Luminar Neo. Photomator. GarageBand. You know, I didn't know I had GarageBand. Compressor. I guess I'm out of the. So I don't have the prior one to the Neo, and that's what was outrageous about the Neo. It did not allow you to work with a photo strip. Well, I wrote them at least 10 nasty or aggressive. Let's not say nasty. I didn't cuss. I didn't call. Well, maybe I did call them names. The inner Trump came out. And no, I love the president. Okay, so they did add the slideshow, and that is an amazing software also. And that's the good thing about these softwares. They're low enough in price that you can have more than one. So when I took pictures of the new baby, because we do have a new baby in our orbit in our family here, okay, I used Neo because it allowed one-click face cleanup. You don't have one-click face cleanup almost anywhere. You do have help, but I hope that Photomator will isolate just the face. So Photomator will isolate a subject, and then I work with that. So masking is something that is foreign to a lot of people, but masking is where the strengths of these programs come in to actually pull down stunning pictures, is the masking. And masking is not really a very good word because it sounds like you're working with tape and you can never get the tape right. I can never work with tape, okay? So masking is not my favorite word. But what masking is you select a certain spot on your picture to work on and ignore everything else. That would be masking. So I'm sitting here, okay, playing with the mic, and I shouldn't be touching it because it's going to make noise. My shirt was creeping up. So if I turn this into a photo, it would be something like this. Okay. So if I wanted to take out the dark spot on my face because I don't like that, if I have a hair that's sticking out, or I don't like this is ruining the picture, all right, I can mask just my face. I can tape it up, all right, and Neo will do that automatically. It'll pick out the face only, where Photomator will pick out the subject, meaning my face and my body. And then I could take and raise or lower the backdrop to make it becomes a portrait, okay? And you do that with your skill level. So Neo will take it one step forward, and that's by Luminar. So you can look that up, Scotty, and look at the prices on that. It can take it and it can work on the face only. And then they have advanced face options in Neo. You can take the fat face and bring it in just a little bit and make it look thinner and not make it look obvious. So I was just checking and making sure. I have my, there we go. I have my, whatchamacallit turned off, my reverb. So I use both Photomator, Neo, and Lightroom. You can download it, but you can't use it. And there's an advantage to owning it and not being able to using it. Okay. So Lightroom, one of its strengths. So what did you just say, Peter? I can own Lightroom and not pay for it? Yes, you can own Lightroom free of charge. Okay. People don't know this because as soon as you open up Lightroom, you get this thing, you didn't pay, take out your credit card, hurry up. And you can just say, forget about it, okay? Oh, I got text. I bet it was because I forgot to put the microphone on. I'm double checking. Okay, so yeah, it's the microphone. Howl is telling me no sound, big boy. Okay, let's go. All right, so I was talking about Lightroom. Okay, so you can download Lightroom and it will try as soon as you open it to try to sell you on it. Okay, and tell you don't own it, you can't go any further. So just click OK and it disappears. So you have an almost non-functioning Lightroom. But what you do have functioning is the ability to go through all of your thumbnails and get rid of the ones that don't fit. So it's a culling tool. Culling is the word that you use for going through your pictures and picking out the good ones and tossing the bad ones. You could still do that in the Lightroom that you didn't pay for. So I have Lightroom here, okay? And you can still organize them into catalogs, free of charge. You cannot go over to the develop module, meaning you cannot correct it or anything to that effect. You can still use your presets though. So if you have presets, you can look at your pictures, you can apply presets, you can delete pictures that shouldn't be in that album because the eyes were closed or the focus it just went screwy. You can do all that, and then you can assign an external program, okay, to actually fine-tune your pictures. So you can own Photomator, you can own Neo, you can own Affinity Photo, and just assign that when you click on the word edit, it pops it automatically into the other software. And then when you click save or save that, it pops all the corrections back into Lightroom. So yes, you can use Lightroom free of charge. You cannot edit your photos in Lightroom, okay? But ironically, you can apply your presets. So if you know somebody that's got presets, or you buy your own, or you know somebody that has Lightroom, and you tell them, I'd like to get, would you make me a preset where it adds this amount of sharpening and this amount of brightness to my picture, and call it Scott's preset 01. And then could you do another one that takes and lowers all the colors and subdues them a little bit, and call that Scott 02. Okay, and then do another one does the opposite, where it boosts my colors and makes it more vibrant. Call that Scott 3. Now you can put those presets in, and you can apply the presets. You just cannot go in and work on the pictures in the develop module. Okay, actually all those rest of those modules don't work. I don't even think the slideshow works. It might, but I never use it, so that's why I don't know. So you guys that have a defunct Lightroom, you can still use it, and you can assign any new program that you want. I shouldn't say any, because that means any, and maybe some of them just don't work with it. Okay, so you like this picture and you need to work on it a little bit, right click, edit, it pops it out into your external, one of the others, into Photomator, Affinity Photo, whatever it is. And then when you click done, it pops it back into Lightroom. So you're not using the develop module of, oh, look at my chocolate, it's all sitting on the bottom. You're not using the develop module of your Lightroom in Lightroom, but you can use it to catalog if you're into cataloging. I don't do cataloging. I put them into folders. So on the new baby, his 6th birthday, got a folder, you know, his 6th birthday with a date. And that's how I do my cataloging. And any other cataloging I do in actual photos on Apple, my Apple computer. So if you haven't experienced Apple Photos, here's a good one for you. You can identify a person. Apple will see the picture, and it will recognize that person in any picture that you have in Photos. So if I took a picture of Scotty at a party, and any picture I took of Scotty in the last 5 years, it will go find it and bring all my Scotty pictures into one panel to look at them. I can look at pictures of Randy. I could just identify his face, take a picture, or have a picture that I already have, okay, and say, this is Randy, Randall Brander, okay? And any picture I have in any library in Photos, it'll open it up, so I can just go look picture after picture after picture of Randy, okay? And if you don't think that can be fun, because you can do them by date, you can do them by month, you can do them by year, you can do them by face. That's in the free version of Photos that's on your Apple computer right now. So Scotty said, what's the difference between Pixelmator and Photomator? Wireless mic, you need Duracells. Okay, we'll have to take a look into those. Roy says, I love the envelope batteries. I have to have pockets full for every shoot. You think they'll work in the microphone here? It's in the microphone now. Okay, my greens are good, but this one, I turned it off because if I turn it on, I have one bar left. Okay, and that would be to sing. Make sure the singing microphone is off. So the button to turn this on and off is very easy. It's right where your thumb goes. So I hold it and it goes off. So I will try and see. My envelope's got to be over 10, 15 years old. I have bought them so long ago, Roy. Okay. Too many wars have been fought over religion. Boy, you have a mouthful there. And Randy's talking to Roy, but it's relevant. HQ only. H265 is 420. Okay, so yeah, they don't give you what the Sonys give you and what the Canons give you. I was surprised. Okay, so Randy's giving the website where you go find that, and Roy is saying thank you. I never even noticed. And Randy is saying I am sitting on my throne drinking coffee. It's been a long day. You must have had a rough day. Was the main? It was more like a memorial, or was it a full with where the casket was there and everything today? So I do know that there, and it was at the funeral home, right? Did the funeral home give you any trouble with the slideshow that you brought? And did they play it? Did they give you any stress, or was it? Oh, thank you, Mr. Brander. It's so nice to have it, because I know you put a lot of time. Oh, when you think he's sitting on the toilet, when he says on my throne, he's sitting in his lazy boy. Okay, you push the button. I don't know if his is electric or manual, and it goes back. He's not talking about the throne in the bathroom. Or maybe he is. That was a beautiful segue, camera. Where are you over there? Is a traveling slide like a traveling mat? No, it is not. Very, very funny. Okay, so we've got all our no sounds, but I did realize it. And the way I realize it is the only thing that moves on the monitor is me. I do the moving, and a green bar. And the green bar actually goes like every time I open my mouth. So eventually I will see that it's not there. And that becomes my indicator that we got no sound going out the door. Hi, everybody. Hi, Luis. How are you? How's Aiden? How's the world treating you up there? I saw that video that you did. My name got used so much you were making me embarrassed. But that piece, oh, it's up there. I can't reach it. That you made, I can't wait to get my hands on it. So you know that microphone that I use that comes out? Okay. Louis was here. I call him Louis, but it's really Luis because of the accent of the way his name is said. Every time you move the wire, it goes, okay, very annoying. And that's because the connection is a little wiggly. And he said, I could fix that. What do you mean you could fix that? He said, I could fix that. I could just whip out the thing that tightens them both ends down, so there'll be absolutely no movement. You're kidding me. Nope, just give me the mic, give me the connection piece, and I'll take care of it for you. So he took it, and then he designed whatever piece. So this side has a thread, okay, and this side has a thread. And you can see, like the finger, let's put it in a dark area. The finger and the thumb are two different thicknesses. So he went and he did a whole video showing how he went and found the thread sizing for the one and the thread sizing for the other. And he used other words that I don't even know what they are. And he put it all together, and he has a machine, and it just printed it out, kind of like the Star Trek, where you tell it what you want, and it makes the meal for you, okay? Or I like a cup of hot cocoa, extra whipped cream, and they go, brrr, and then the door slides open, and you get your hot cocoa. Well, it just printed it on this mat, and he picked it up. I thought it'd be hot, but it wasn't hot. It didn't need to cool down, okay? And he put it on both ends, and it doesn't move. He actually used the microphone. So it did need to be a little bit tuned in on the treble and the midtones and the bass, okay? But that microphone don't sound half bad for $30. And you don't have to worry about turning your head this way or turning your head that way because the microphone's in here, over here, I should say. But I don't use it because Hal got me this one now. But Hal got me that one too. So it's like, I'm not going to hurt Hal's feelings no matter which one I use because they're both here because of him. Can you hear me now? There's the answer to that eternal question that we get on television. Can you hear me now? I hear you now. So Randy finally answered it. So he's saying hi to Lewis, hi to Sammy, hi to, and Lewis is saying hi. And there we go. Oh, Sly said thank you. He really enjoyed that. I haven't been traveling. I donated blood and took 4 days to recover. How much blood did you give? Oh my God, Sly. Did you go to the Vampires Are Us and they just took all the blood out? Well, Randy told me you were traveling, so that's why I thought you were traveling, okay? And maybe you were going from one city to the other because I know you get around there, okay? So, yeah, the song that I sang is, Sammy says it's from Barney, and Randy said the tune is This Old Man. Yep. The song is, if you guys remember it, This Old Man, he played three, he played knick-knack on my knee with a wick and ting-tack, wally-wop, and give a dog a bone. This old man came rolling home. So there we go. Sly says he's off to bed now. Big soccer game. Oh, he's into soccer. Soccer has become a very active topic around here. Somebody that's here loves soccer. He loves it so much that he took a trip to Madrid to watch the Real Madrid team. He bought a t-shirt. $180 for the t-shirt? Can you believe it? 180. But it's authentic team. I guess if you bought Miami Dolphins or, do we have a soccer team here in Miami? Oh yeah, we do. I forgot. Okay, you can tell how great I am at following sports. We not only have a soccer team, they're building a $1 billion stadium near the airport. And who's my favorite is a guy named Cristiano Ronaldo, but his equal or competitor or whatever you want is on the team here in Miami. And I can't think of his name, but I know who knows his name and is going to spit it out right now. Okay, I just finished my coffee. That means we're at the end of the show. Okay, so we got a big soccer game tomorrow. I still prefer doing video with a Z8, and James NRAW is fantastic, better than the Kodak than the offering some competitors. You're letting it slide in, James. You're letting it slide in. That competitive, I'm gonna get you. You ain't gonna get up. Once I get you down, you ain't gonna get up. No, don't do that, James. Don't do that, Tiger, okay? So Sly says, don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah, we got 6 likes. You guys forgot to hit it. It's a pat on the back. So you want to say, knick, knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. Hit the subscription on the phone. Okay. I just made that up in case you can't tell. And Roy is answering Sly. I never forget, except when I do. Here is my buddy from Canada. Merry Christmas, Peter. Good evening, Greggies around the world. Last week, I was the #1 comment, but my post disappeared. So what does that mean? How were you the #1 comment? Oh, you were the first one to comment, and your post disappeared? For real? I don't do any disappearing of posts, okay? So before you shoot me down, I don't do this unless there's cuss words in it, okay? So, but YouTube will make posts disappear. I don't know why. I know they have a filter that they use, but I can't imagine you using any word like that, Norm. It would be something that I can't imagine it. And, oh, Carlos says the bridge isn't up, but we're going to look forward to next show next week, either Wednesday or Friday. And you know darn well, if God is willing and the bridge isn't up, we'll do one of them, if not both. How you doing, Carlos? How's everything going in I was going to say Glockamora, because that's the song. How are things in Glockamora? Is that little brook still leaping there? They used to have some really good songs. Now we have the songs we get today. So Roy is talking to James, and Norm says, I use AC/DC. I used AC/DC. It's another program, like Lightroom, like Photomator, like Neo, like anything I talked about tonight. Well, there's another one, and it was, and probably still is, but I never renewed it, AC/DC, and it's a really good one also. So I'm just kind of skipping here and gonna come to the end because we're coming to the end of the show. Roy says my folders are organized by year, month, day, and notes. Okay, Roy says envelopes are 1.2 volt and alkynes are 1.5. Would that give me a problem, Roy? Because that's what I have in here now. Let me double check before I open my mouth. Yeah, it's the envelopes that I have in here. So do they have a newer envelope that's 1.5 volt? What? How am I going to fix this thing dying so fast? Roy, speak up. Get yourself some AA alkaline batteries. How about a regular rechargeable lithium battery? Because I don't think envelopes are lithium, are they? Let me take a quick look. It doesn't say ready to use rechargeable battery. It's made by Panasonic. It's 1900 mAh. Do not dispose of in a fire. NIMH, so it's not lithium. Okay. So I have seen where you could buy lithium rechargeable batteries. So I'm going to look that up on Amazon. And when I look that up on Amazon, then I will, I might reach out and buy some to put in here. But I will look at the volts on it and make sure that they are exactly what is needed. Uncle Peter, just use a field recorder to give your microphone phantom power. Okay, that doesn't make sense. There's no plugs here. So how would I can't plug anything in for power? This and the belt pack or the body pack that this is connected to don't have external power. As a matter of fact, my Sonys don't have external power abilities. And I don't like that because I do have, Kyle had bought me for my birthday, one of those USB where you charge them up and then you can use them anywhere you want, a battery pack. So Randy says on the funeral, it was open casket. His friend is a retired Baptist minister, which gave the sermon. Was it a short sermon? I'm afraid to ask. My cousin and her daughter gave great speeches. We had a police escort to the cemetery, and we had automated no driver taxis that got in our cars and messed everybody up when it stopped. So that was like one of those robo-taxis or the one with that round thing on the top, Waymo. So it got, I guess, into the line. It didn't know. That's a good point. That's a really good point. So they keep getting updates on making them better, and better. But they had a no driver type taxi, and they have, what do they have now? They got the Tesla robo taxi. They have the Waymo driverless taxi, and they have something called Zook. Okay, you got all of those out there on the road. Did anybody bother to tell them that a funeral procession should not get messed with? So it messed everybody up when it stopped. So it did not know to continue on with the procession through the red lights. So that's such an interesting thought, Randy. So if there was a policeman there and the light was red, but the policeman was bringing the people through, all right? So let's just pick on Waymo because I like them the least, all right? And it stopped at the red light like it should have, but it was not recognizing that the policeman was saying, keep it rolling, keep it rolling. This is part of an entourage, okay? And it stopped. That is something that should be reported to the companies. They need to recognize a funeral procession. Boy, that is something I would have never guessed. You opened up a really big topic. Roy says soccer is football in the rest of the world, but we know that. Then this is what I was waiting for, Randy to come in. Messi was the name of the player that I was thinking of. Messi or Messi. He's as famous as Ronaldo Cristiano, or is it Cristiano Ronaldo? I think it's that way. And he's the head player or one of the top players on the Miami team. That's why I said, is there soccer here in Miami? And it's like, can't think of it. And then I thought of him and I go like, whoa, we do have soccer here in Miami. Big time. Okay, so, and his name is Lionel Messi. That's pretty cool. So we're flying through these. Bob James, it says, you're definitely the Andy Williams of this generation. So Sammy says, did you see my comments before? Yeah, I'm just flying through them, and I'm just picking out the ones I want. And here is Randy telling me it is time to go home. And he probably wants to go to bed. Okay. So Roy says the voltage difference does affect some of the electronics. No more voltage from newer envelopes. So I'm going to look into the rechargeable lithiums. Roy says the envelopes are lithium. Okay, that's interesting. I just read it. I wouldn't they have said it on there? James says, I thought you mentioned you were running a Sennheiser mic. No, I don't have any Sennheiser mics, but it is a Sennheiser connection, which means the type of thread that won't fit on anybody else's. Okay. So Randy says it is a Waymo. It got confused until they saw the flashing lights from the police motorcycle, and then it stopped. Okay, so Waymo is the one that he says got into the funeral procession. So that is some programming that has to happen. It needs to understand a funeral procession. It makes me wonder if even the Tesla is programmed with a funeral procession. Okay, in Jersey and New York, I know the funeral processions happen going through red lights and everything with no policeman. Once you're in the funeral procession, there's a lead car, the flower car first, which is like an open ranchero. Then they have the casket, then the limo, and then the people just go through the city. And Cliffside Park, when my cousin, we went to the funeral, there was no police escort. And everybody stops and they recognize the procession. And I was amazed because in Miami, you got like, 6 to 8 motorcycle cops. So that was very interesting. All right, so we will end it with Randy's comment here, God willing, and the bridge isn't up. I'll be back for the next show. Remember, my goal is the sky and not the grave. So if I die, that wasn't my goal, okay? I'm planning on being up in the first rapture. Did you know there's 2 raptures? Peter, you're talking blasphemy. What, you just deviating from the Bible, Peter? There's 2 raptures, okay? All this arguing about the pre-trib and the post-trib, they're both trib. That is what we're going to have. We're going to have a rapture that starts the 7-year tribulation, but all the promises of Jesus receiving you to him are not canceled because the rapture happened. So another rapture has to happen. And he will pull in those that become born again during that 7 years. Now, you say that to a Baptist, you better duck, okay? Because that is not acceptable Bible talk at all, okay? I don't even think a Pentecostal will accept something like that. But I'm a very big studier of that, and I came to that conclusion long ago, and I finally heard a major preacher preach that, Jimmy Evans, with Turning Point, okay? And he's big, in the millions of followers and big church and stuff like that. And I'm going like, God told me that. God told me that a while ago. I thought nobody would believe that. Maybe I was wrong. And here he comes out, there's 2 raptures. God's promises are not canceled. You missed the first rapture because you weren't born again, and you become born again during the rapture. Don't take the mark of the beast, the 666, and whatever that winds up being, because the Bible specifically says you can't go to heaven if you take that, which implies that that whole shenanigans will be centered on a religious system. So that is promises that are there. I will come and receive you unto myself. Okay, remember there's in my Father's house there's many mansions. Okay, that doesn't mean bedrooms. I've heard a preacher try to say everybody will get a bedroom. So God's house is one big hotel. Okay, nah. I don't know who you think you're fooling. All right, mansions, big. Okay, and then he says, I will come and receive you unto myself. Okay. That where I am, you may be also. So when Jesus comes back at the second coming, it will be at the Mount of Olives, which is a mount, like a little mountain on a mountain, okay, in Jerusalem. And he says he's going to come back there, feet touching the ground. So when he comes to receive you in the air, that's not feet touching the ground. Last time I looked it up, when you're in a plane, your feet are not touching the ground. Okay, so that is the rapture. And then as Christians, we argue. Is the rapture going to happen at the beginning of that 7-year tribulation where the Armageddon is going to happen and the wrath of God is going to come on the earth, and when the Antichrist is going to try to create a one world government by force, okay? All that goes on, all right? But let's say you're a good guy and you've heard about Jesus, but you just never thought it was real. Now the rapture happened and you're going like, by golly, Miss Molly, it was real. I better accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior. So you do. So are all those promises that are in the Bible, they're negated for you? You missed the rapture. The entire Bible is canceled. No, it's not. Okay? So Jesus still says, I will come and receive you unto myself. Okay? That I am, you may be also. And that'll happen after the 7 years is over. Now, it is by a bad choice where that person will go through the 7 years, but when that person does receive Jesus at any time, they do get to live in heaven forever. So there will be a rapture at the beginning, marking the beginning of the 7 years. We go through the 7 years of a mess, Armageddon, all that. There's a second rapture. Then Jesus comes back, and all of us and all of them come back, and that's the way it plays out. Now, I learned that in my private devotions, meaning you study the Bible privately, you pray, and I'm going like, how come I didn't see this before? There's got to be somebody. God does not, if I get a personal interpretation, that is very suspect, okay? Because that's how religion started. You know, you had this guy have an angel come to him in a cave and told him a whole bunch of stuff. Or something happened up north in America and you had a whole new religion born. That is suspect. So I'm going like, oh, maybe I didn't hear this from you, God. Maybe this is not a good thing. So I said, show me. And the more I studied it, there is no other way. There is two raptures, okay? And then finally, I was just, you know what that means? Channel hopping. And I almost didn't click on it because it's like, well, he's not one of my favorite preachers, okay? But he's really solid and he's good. And it said something in the title about the rapture, so that got my ears right away because that's my favorite topic. And lo and behold, if he wasn't sitting there talking, there's two raptures. There's a pre-trib rapture. Yes, you're right. Their second rapture is the post-trib rapture. Yes, you're right also. And yet we fuss and we fight, and I've never heard a sermon on it. And any of my friends that I told, basically I got the Christian equivalent of the middle finger, okay? You're up in the tangent. You're up in your own thing. You're getting signals from heaven. That's not from Jesus. That kind of stuff, okay? That's the middle finger. So there we go. We have done a show and a half, and the next time we get together, although I have been known to pop in, it'll be April 1st. We have done 3 months and only 9 months left, whoops, like that, to go, and it'll be Christmas. My favorite time of year. Okay, so that's it. I see you, Scotty. So, love everybody here. I'm going to say goodnight, guys. I enjoyed my evening with you, of course. If it wasn't for you, it would be boring. I'd get on. I'd talk. It's kind of a therapy to sit in an empty room with nobody else here. But I can't say nobody else is here. I think my guardian angel is here. I think Jesus is here with me. But I'm talking about people I can grab and hug. So, and that's you guys. All right, so love you. See you later. Bye-bye.